What is up, my YouTube friends? I am so excited to have you back here in what I like to call the most epic garage on the platform. It is going to be a sick detail that we are actually going to watch together. But before we get into the detail, I want to talk just a little bit about what has been going down. I started this awesome channel back in September of 21, and I have posted every single week and another amazing detail for you, my fans and friends. I tragically have to admit that I have obviously failed a couple weeks, the last 2 weeks specifically, in getting new content out to you. I was very sad. I still made some shorts, but things fell apart. I had a lot of chaos. I had to travel. I actually need to remember and have my beautiful wife remind me. She actually always reminds me, but I never follow through. But she always reminds me when we're out and about, or when I'm out and about, or whatever it is, because I detail obviously everything here in the garage, but when I'm editing here on the super sick laptop, I do that pretty much everywhere. I've done it in the trailer, I've done it in hotels, airplanes, the passenger seat of the Jeep a couple of times, all in an effort to post consistent weekly content for you, my fans. But it would be cool to insert a montage here of all those cool places I've edited, but I've never filmed not even one of them, and I really need to, so maybe I'll start doing it this summer. Again, beautiful wife, you are awesome. Thanks for reminding me. I slack on the follow through. So, but today, not today in the garage, but a long time ago, and I mean a long time ago, I think this is from December of 21 maybe, I detailed a 2008 BMW, almost tricked me, Mini Cooper. It was the first Mini Cooper I had ever detailed. And so what I want to do this time is I'm going to put me in the corner, and I'm going to kind of talk about the detail, talk about some other things just because I want to, and we're going to watch a video together. So without any further ado, I'm going to put B in the corner because I'm not baby, and let's watch it. Back in December of 21, so quite a while ago, this was a pre-sale detail. The customer had a couple vehicles and some things changed with the family, so they needed to switch it up and not need this. This was a commuter car and it just wasn't needed anymore. So they wanted to sell it. So obviously when I do pre-sale details, what I like to do is take and clean the engine bay, because when a new customer or a new owner, a potential new owner, is looking at a vehicle, they're gonna probably lift the hood. At least most people do. I always do. Because even though I don't know a ton about engines, it makes me feel better to at least look at the engine compartment. So I use 3D APC. What else is that? Just a detailing brush. I don't think I used anything else special on this one. And I didn't use the pressure washer, mainly because this was my first time detailing a Mini, and I didn't know if there was anything special or particular in there. So I didn't want to harm any of those electrical components because new to the Mini family. So I detailed the engine bay, which was obviously super sick. And then I try and detail the hood, the bottom side of that bonnet, just because when you open up the engine bay, or when you open up that hood and look at something, if the idea is to make it look better for the customer, and you look at the engine and it looks amazing, and then you look at the top and it's all covered in black and nastiness, like the Jeeps probably does right now because it's a wreck in there. But it just doesn't give the aesthetic appeal that, of course, I'm aiming for with my efforts in detailing that engine bay. This, what was special? Oh, the battery. Because some of these older cars, I mean, '08, and I've talked about a Subaru Ascent that, well, maybe I didn't talk about it yet. In one of my videos coming up, I talk about, I had a Subaru Ascent die, or the battery died, while I had it in the garage detailing it, which I was very sad about because I don't want, a customer's car to die. And when I pull them in the garage, if they end up dying or the battery ends up dying, I have to get something in here. I have a jump box, but it, I guess, wasn't powerful enough for that Subaru. I ended up pulling in, I've done this twice now, I've pulled the Jeep in and just scooted it in. I actually think I had to do my beautiful wife's Atlas once and then the Jeep, because the batteries are on the opposite sides, to jump the vehicles that were dead in the garage. Bit rambling, sorry. But I couldn't find the battery in here. I think it ended up being in the trunk or underneath one of the seats. I had to look it up on Google, so shame, but I found it so I could unhook it so I could do my detail. But wheel and tire cleaning, I think this was back in the Adams wheel and tire cleaning days. and it turned out amazing. They had a lot of that brake dust just baked onto those wheels, but man, they cleaned up so good. And I want to talk about this time in particular. I actually know specifically when it was. I'm going to interrupt myself here in just a moment because the footage broke like 90 different times. But when I was detailing this Mini, I had done a truck detail, and I don't even remember which one. This was December 23rd. I specifically remember that this detail was because I detailed the truck, and then I went to work, and then I detailed a minivan, then I went to work, and then I detailed this. I ended up being awake and working for almost 40 hours straight. It was nuts, and that was leading into Christmas Eve, which we went up to my parents' house, and I sat on their couch, and then I woke up a couple hours later for our Christmas Eve festivities. It was out of control. So because of that, this footage is really chopped up, which is why I'm doing a different format. I stopped on the interior detailing. I stopped during the plastic cleaning. My SD card was full and I didn't have time to port it over to anywhere else. I couldn't find my backup SD card, and I had worked so many hours straight that I just gave up. But right here, you notice that the second pressure washing, or the pressure washing after I did the foam canning twice, like I do, totally tanked. That footage was gone. Wait, I gotta stop this. I'm gonna bring this back. I'm gonna rewind just a little bit. Okay. When I went to detail this, the customer had not done anything on this vehicle. They had just brought it to me like it was, middle of winter, obviously. And so they didn't warn me about it, but I got in and I found the top of a pop can, a soda can, just chilling on the passenger floorboard, and I had no idea how or why. So here, you'll see me pick up the can. I'm talking about it, but I'm cutting it out. That's where the can was. It shot from right there all the way to the passenger floorboard, which I thought was nuts. There was soda everywhere. The seats had it, obviously the ceiling had it, and the can was actually still full of Coke. It was out of control. And shockingly, even though that can was in the back and it exploded, obviously, and brought the soda lid, or the lid, the top to the can clear to the front, there was minimal soda spilled in the rear area. It was shocking. Though these Minis don't have a huge carpeted area back there to actually have the soda soak into the carpet, but regardless, even that floor mat wasn't even that bad. And I was so out of the zone when I did this detail. I didn't even film cleaning those floor mats, and they were kind of gross. I mean, they weren't insanely gross, but I was just, one, I had a couple of footage breaks, like when I was doing the pressure washing. Two, I was just out of the zone. I was just not in my element when I was doing this detail, which was totally fine. I mean, that's why we're doing this in a little bit different format. But the Minis were nice. The paint, kind of bouncing back to that exterior detail, the paint on this Mini was actually really nice. I was sad that I was so tired and didn't have a bunch of time, because paint correcting, I know BMWs in general have really, really good paint, and since Mini is BMW adjacent, I assumed it was going to be nice as well, but I didn't get a chance to do any paint correction because that's not what they wanted, and I straight up didn't have time to just go too far above and beyond for this customer. But the vacuuming was chill. There wasn't a ton of areas. The big spot on this detail that I thought was so much fun was the extractions. Now, though the rear, the trunk right here, this extraction wasn't fantastic, and that spot where the soda can was residing wasn't all that fantastic, the spot that was so sick and so enjoyable to extract, and I've slowed one of the clips down, is coming up right here. I love this extraction. I even showed people on Christmas Eve at my beautiful wife's family's house how cool this extraction right here was. It was just awesome. I think it was coffee. Look at that though. Like a rust color. I don't know exactly what it was, but it was brutal. Yeah, look at that. I slowed this clip down. Usually I just speed through the carpet cleaning unless there's a really, really dirty spot. This was definitely a really, really dirty spot. Oh, look at that. It was so cool. then I just speed it up because I ended up using, and when I carpet clean, I end up using more carpet cleaner and hitting some areas multiple times because you just, 1 or 2 passes with the extractor doesn't cut it most of the time. And I've had some people ask about removing the carpet. I've done it, but it's a pretty serious endeavor. And for most of my customers, it's a drop off in the afternoon or morning time and then pick up the following day, just because I don't have a lot of customers who have oh, look at that pour out. Oh, that was so sick. Oh, it was a fun one. But I don't have a ton of customers that have vehicles for days that they can just drop and leave a vehicle with me as they are doing their day-to-day life. So I try and work it out with the weekends for my customers and I'm not mobile. I like to control for the elements, especially when doing paint protection and the other, the ozone generator and stuff. I need time, so I have them bring their vehicles here. And we are about to the end of the footage. Oh man, I feel like this went so fast. This was cool, but I'm sad. Anyway, obviously want to thank the customer for so long ago. I'll send this video to them and I hope they like it. It's a bit choppy, but it was fun. And also, thanks for the support. It really does mean more than I can describe. My family, my beautiful wife, and my awesome kids support so much. I have crazy, awesome fans that like and comment, and this stuff means a lot. I like making these videos. I don't plan on stop making these videos for a while if I can avoid it, because I like it. I think it's fun. I finally got monetized on YouTube. I'm not making a ton of money, but every view helps, so thank you. And seriously, thanks. I keep it up, I guess. Let me say this. Throw comments down if you want to see something specific. If you don't like a format or you don't think I'm doing something awesome, just throw a comment down. It really does help. I try and read all of the comments and interact with you awesome people as much as I can. So with that, I'm just gonna end this, and sorry the video was so choppy. Thanks for the patience, and I hope you like this format. Be out. Catch you on the next one.